So excited, Miss Elise Tremblay. So excited to
Hey.
see you, honey. This is it's been kind of crazy with all this COVID nonsense. I don't get to see you, so I'm very excited to see your pretty face today. And in honor of Elise So Fancy, you can't see it, but I tried to go a little fancy. I tried to play it up
Amazing.
a little bit, but you can't even see on camera, so wink. But
You're
you
so
are my
cute.
special sparkly friend, so I'm so thrilled to, that you could actually, I know because you have a huge busy schedule. You just jumped off one conference call and now you've got me and busy work gal. So,
Yeah, this is my lunch break.
oh my word. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. It's amazing. I'll talk to you anytime.
I'm just so thrilled. I'm just so thrilled. You agreed to chat with me. I'm just going to double check and make
Aw.
sure we're live. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're going anyway. I was just going to see if it the LinkedIn, and hopefully it did. Um, anyway, we're doing what we can. Oh, I think it did. Okay. So silly. Okay, so I want to do a little introduction of you, my dear friend. So Elise Tremblay is the manager of retail events and artist relations for MAC Cosmetics Canada, because she's so fancy. And I'm going to say that a million times because that is so your brand, that Elise is so fancy. You have been working with MAC in various roles for 18 years, you said, right?
Yes, yeah. April is my 18-year Maciversary.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time with one brand. So we'll get into that,
I
I'm sure.
know.
And then, well, I mean, I have to let everybody know that I worked with your fabulous self when we worked together at Fashion Magazine, and that was like a long time ago, but it seems
Oh
like it
my
was
gosh.
so wild.
Yeah.
Um, and you've been an active fundraiser for the AIDS Walk of Toronto for many years, and you've appeared on various television shows, including Marilyn Dennis. And
Yeah.
your bio says that you're a big fan of sparkly things and being fancy on a daily basis. And I just love that so much. And I know you have, people probably can't see you have a sparkly tooth, right? Do you still
I
have your sparkly?
do. Yes,
Oh,
yeah. I've
my,
had that forever.
I know. And I'm so glad to see my friend Amy that I went to high school with is on here as well. And she's very fancy. And she usually joins us, but I thought she had a friend over today, so I didn't know if she was going to be joining us. So maybe Amy and her other friend have joined us today. And you have a tattoo that says fancy? Of
Yeah,
course.
I figured I should show it just because that's how fancy I actually am.
You really are. Now it's burned into your flesh how fancy you are.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love all things. Okay, so clearly you've always been fancy. This is just who you are.
Yeah.
But I noticed on LinkedIn, as I sort of was doing a little research about you, that you have a diploma in fashion merchandising. So, what made you decide to start that very fancy career path with fashion merchandising? What made you choose that path?
Well, the thing is, when you're young and you need to go to college or university, and, at whatever age you're at, it's kind of like, what are your interests at that point? And I just knew I wanted to do something in fashion, but I wasn't really sure what it was. And I think fashion merchandising was, it felt like the right fit for me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because it just would be able to develop my creativity, obviously. And then I love the world of retail and fashion merchandising. So, put it all together. There you go. I mean, I've taken a little bit of a turn in terms of, what I went to college for versus what I actually do for, my career now. But still love it. I think being in the beauty world, I still like it fashion is like a part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like an all over moment. So yeah, it just felt at the time very natural. That was in 1994. So, it was great. And I'm from London, Ontario. I went to Fanshawe College and, it was a 2-year program. And at the time I was like all very manageable. I love it all. So it was fun. I learned a lot, but then I also wasn't ready for school at the time. So I was all over the place and working and going to school and just trying to figure it out in general.
Right. And I think I remember because we've been friends for so long. There's a few photos of you on Facebook that you were in fashion shows in high school too, right? So you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been producing fashion shows for such a long time. So when I was in college, I dated this guy who went to Western, and there was this organization called Underground Groove, and they did these like amazing fashion shows. And then, dating him, I just got involved and then continued. And all of a sudden, I was like the producer of the show, by the time I finished it. And then, I took all of that knowledge and brought it into college because we had to produce a fashion show for our final project one year. And I thought, oh, I'm going to ace this, which I did, obviously. But I put myself as a model as well, which hilarious. Why
I love
not?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course that's sort of parlayed into your current role now. I mean, that's what you do at Mac is your events.
I do events. Yeah, I love events. I love retail events. I love being able to support the retail world with a little bit of fun, and then, to help sell product, but also interact with our customers and our guests that come into the store, right? Like, it's just little things. And I think the world of eventing right now has changed so much, like due to COVID, but there are ways to still create this sort of fun atmosphere without actually having to touch anybody.
Yeah, and so I would assume, and I guess we'll get into some of that too. We'll just talk about it now. You've got a big promotion going on with Mac right now. You partnered, Mac is partnered with some big names. So go ahead and
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me about
I'll tell you all about it. So we just launched a new campaign called Challenge Accepted, and we have the best spokespeople. Are you ready for this? Sweetie, who is so freaking cool, and the
it.
one and only Cher.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my,
So
dying.
yeah, to
Yeah,
have Cher as a brand ambassador is like so cool. I'm very impressed, and I almost feel like we work together. Can I say that?
you
I
could
work
say
with
it.
Cher.
A colleague. Yeah. Oh, share my colleague. Uh,
I have nothing to do with her. It's all like through our global team, but very impressive. So the campaign is really all about accepting our challenge of the way MAC Cosmetics perform, which I love so much. So it's like, are you challenged at creating a red lip, or are you challenged at creating a smoky eye? And then, right? So then you can accept our challenge, and then we will show you how to get those great looks with these great products, and then you can put them to the test. So, go outside in a cold Canadian winter and see how your makeup stands up to, whatever you might do in your life. So, Cher's on stage performing. And so, how does your makeup perform while you're performing, and what does that look like after? So there's a lot of really great stuff on social happening. We've got a lot of our team, they're out snowshoeing and skiing and, wearing their makeup. And every week we're going to do something different on social and sort of, give you a challenge that you can accept, and then, try and create something yourself. We'll do some fun things in store as well. And, we have amazing artists that work at our stores. They're makeup artists, they're trained, they have such great knowledge, they're passionate about what they do, which I am as well. I'm also a makeup artist myself, and I just love what makeup can do and what you can do to yourself. You can really transform yourself just by, a little bit of blush, which I love, pink lipstick. Obviously, I've got some lips behind me. So, makeup is just truly one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, and it can make, I mean, I don't feel myself if I don't have a little color on my face. So it absolutely does make a huge difference. And just in just like your own self esteem. And, one of the things that just thinking back, because I've used MAC Cosmetics since I don't know how long, probably even through university and so forth, always been inclusive, always been inclusive. Is such a great brand that now that diversity and inclusion sort of happens to be sort of a buzzword term. And it's a great thing that, in 2022 that has become a part of the corporate culture. But Mac has always been, I remember there were men working behind the counters, or, anybody in the LGBT community was sort of welcomed and they could be themselves, which I think was really, so great to embrace.
And that's one of the reasons why I think I love the brand and I fit in so well, because I love the acceptance, right? Like we accept everybody and, the company allows me to be me. I get to wear the glasses I want and like wear my hair the way I want, wear my makeup the way I want. And, everybody is accepted and we accept everybody. And makeup is for everybody. It's not just for women. It's not just for, TV and film. Men can wear makeup on a daily basis. And I love that, we are able to show that. And we've always been that way. We haven't had to transform, through all these new, social things that are happening in the world. So, yeah, one of the things that I feel so proud of MAC Cosmetics as a brand. And then we have a lipstick called Viva Glam, and every year we have a new spokesperson. So, Viva Glam started in 1994, and RuPaul was our first spokesperson. So, in 1994, to see a drag queen representing a cosmetics brand was very new and different. And I think that, we really shook up the world when that happened. And it's still very cool. And obviously to see what RuPaul has, grown into today, it's very cool.
And I have to say, and I know that you probably know this, I am such a huge fan of those shows. Amy and I will talk about it all the time. Like I what those people on the drag or on RuPaul's Drag Race, the way they can transform themselves. I mean, the artistry, it really makes me want to up level myself. I am always like, oh gosh, if they can do this, and they're most of them are men transforming into women. That, oh my gosh, like I need to up my game, girl. I'm like, I really need to up my game in the makeup department. They can do this artistry, and I'm just like slocking on a little bit of lipstick. I'm like, come on.
And that's the beauty of makeup, right? It really can do so much. It can, give you a little health. You look healthy when you have a little bit of color on your cheeks, but then you can completely change the shape of your face with contour. You can hide that 5 o'clock shadow. It's incredible. I love watching people transform. It's just, yeah, it's wild.
Well, since we're on the subject of RuPaul, before we sort of move on, so I brought my tea here. So because I'm hoping you're gonna spill a little tea. So who are
Look,
some of
here's
the
my tea.
of course.
Again, I'm so fancy.
Um, oh yeah, then we what is Amy saying? We did it on New Year's Eve. Yeah, we probably talked about like RuPaul's Drag. Like we're always going, yes, Mama. We always do that to each other. So do tell, Mama. You have worked with and met some of RuPaul's, some of the contestants. So what's that been like? So did you do
Uh,
tell?
Yeah, so at MAC, we do work with a lot of drag queens through events and different meetings that we've done, which has been so fun. And believe it or not, I've been able to work with a bunch of the top drag queens. So a few years ago for Pride in Toronto and Montreal, we had Miss Brooklyn Heights, the Queen of the North, with us. She was doing in-store appearances, and you could come and meet Brooklyn in store, just hang out. You didn't have to do anything. You just had to come. So that was amazing. And she actually wore her Mountie costume. That's her entrance look when she was on RuPaul's Drag Race. So that was very exciting because, she was still representing Canada, and we loved that so much. Just because MAC Cosmetics was actually founded in Toronto. So it was originally a Canadian born brand, and we're very proud of that Canadian history with MAC as well. So that's awesome to have, Canadian queen, and she did so well on her season, and she was so great to work with. She's so nice. And then I also like met her out of drag, and that was really fun too. So really interesting again to see, from you know one persona to another persona, like, and what makeup and hair and costumes do is amazing. And then I also got to work with Latrice Royale, who I love so much. And
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I am also friends with Latrice's husband, Christopher. They're doing a bunch of great things right now, but with COVID and everything, plans change and whatnot. But um, they are amazing people. A few years ago, they came to Toronto on a tour, and they came and invited me to their meet and greet and gave me all this merch. And it was just like so fun to see them, and I just love seeing them succeed and doing so well and what they want to do. I worked with Alyssa Edwards. She's amazing,
I
so
can't
full of
make that.
energy. Yeah, the tongue pop, I can't even do
Yeah.
it. But she's amazing, and I make jewelry, and so I made her a necklace, and that was just really exciting to give that to her and share a little piece of my creativity. So that was fun. And then I also worked with Milk. So Milk is a different queen. She's very like, her drag is just very different, but um uh, I love her so much. I also made her a necklace, and we were eventing in Montreal at one of our Mac stores, and on our last day, we did a 3-day event with her in store. And on the last day, she actually wore the necklace that I made for her. And when I came in and saw that, I just started crying because I just, like, come
Yes,
on, right?
I
So,
know. And I think Milk's Canadian too, right?
no, Milk is from New York.
Okay, I thought they were. I thought she was from.
Yeah, but yeah, she's been here. We did an event at our Queen Street store a few years ago as well. I think it was in 2016. And yeah, another meet and greet. She just danced around the store and performed, and it was just so fabulous. So it's really fun to work with drag queens for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's such a great. I mean, it's so interesting the subculture in that, and like we don't have enough time to get into all that subculture, but it's been so interesting. And to your, what you said, I mean, I even went to the RuPaul's Drag Race when they had it here in Toronto, and it's great to support the community for sure, and also just the popularity. I mean, so many people just absolutely love the performances and so forth. So it's great to bring this attention to sort of that community for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you have worked at Mac for a long time, and so some of it is because you just are allowed to be who you want to be. Is that what's kept you at Mac for 18 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great company to work for. So Estee Lauder is our parent company. And, just even through the pandemic, they've really taken care of us, made us feel safe, and, that they're thinking of us always. And that's been really great for me. But, with Mac being all inclusive and I don't know, just being able to celebrate who you are. It's a great company to be with. We have great like perks and benefits and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just a wonderful company to work for. It's like like family run. Do you know what I mean? So even though it's big and corporate, they still continue to make us feel like we're all a family. And I think that's why I've been around so long. I mean, I started out in a retail store and worked my way up, and I've done different things in our head office. But where I'm at right now, I think is I'm really doing my dream job, which is so cool, right? Like doing events for makeup. I mean, win-win.
I know. It really, I mean, it's so you. It is so you. And
So
I
me.
about it. Yeah. And so social media, which is it's great that this has sort of been popularized in the past. I mean, it's who doesn't live without a phone in their pocket. Our phones are all right here, right? But so I just know when I was teaching at the college, a lot of my students were following brand ambassadors, or just even doing their own, creating their own channels and things like that about
Yeah.
beauty and things like that. So, I just think that's probably a good pivot, and it's a good thing that we had these channels with the pandemic to be able to continue to use it. So, have you had to, with not being able to do in-person events, is a lot gone online? Is that what's happened for your role?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, it was like, oh, no events. Okay, what do people need? They need to be entertained. And, because we weren't really leaving our house and, what does that look like? You just kind of go online and bring the fun online. So being able to show and teach artistry, through virtual eventing was a lot of fun. We did a little virtual holiday event last November. And, we had two of our directors of makeup artistry, one based in LA, Gregory Arlt, and one based in New York, who's Romero Jennings. And they're both such fabulous artists. They work on all the stars and they're friends with, everyone famous. They're brilliant artists as well and such great brand ambassadors. But what we did with them is we had them host like a virtual holiday soiree. And then they just invited, people to come over and hang out virtually. And then they sent a gift to each one of their guests, and then the guests would come over and open their gift and they'd talk and they'd have a little cocktail and a toast. And so it was really meant for people watching to feel like they were sort of at this party as well, and then get to watch a little demo and hear about our holiday collection that had come out. Because when you're not out shopping and just sort of browsing in store, you don't really see what's out there unless you're looking online or looking at specific websites or Instagram accounts, that kind of thing, and surfing and whatnot. So it's really like, how do you keep people entertained, and give them sort of some fun? I think we're all missing a little bit of fun as we continue to work from home or stay home as much as we have to. So that's been really great and such an easy pivot. Everyone's sort of on their phones, like you said, and online looking for different things. And so being able to offer that has been really great. I mean, I think we've sort of always given it, but we did pay a lot more attention to, eventing virtually for sure.
Yeah, and I and a lot of the as I said, like the word of mouth can spread because you got such a I mean, Mac is number one, has always been a very popular brand, but also these like influencers, and influencers, what I teach my students is like, we're all influencers. Like, I may not be, a big makeup person, but I'm still, if I say, oh my gosh, I love my Mac this, then I'm influencing someone else. And it seems like the generation of Gen Z, Gen X have really embraced social media insofar as using these channels to really help become even bigger brand ambassadors for beauty. And it's just, they're so passionate about it, for sure.
Yeah, and the thing about in beauty influencers is so great is that, they have really great knowledge of product. And when we can get that in their hands and they can explain that to their followers, that's just kind of one of those things like, I love your pink blazer today. And so I, would love to know where you got that. And, right, because I wear black for work. And sometimes adding a pop of color into my wardrobe is very exciting for me. And you know what I mean? So I feel like right now you are influencing me to wear pink more, that kind of thing. So I get it. Sometimes I feel like an influencer with, what I wear, and I'm outside and people stop me and I'm like, oh, yes, I got it here. It was this much. And, I
Yeah.
love doing that. So, right, with beauty influencers, they get it. They know what's happening. The one thing I will say from my makeup artist point of view is that I'm not sure, like with beauty influencers, they can be makeup artists for sure, but how much knowledge do they have of product, right? So as a makeup artist, I went to makeup school. I learned the science behind skin and foundation and how to color match and how to work with different skin tone, how to work with different skin types, that kind of thing. So I think that's where the difference is between a beauty influencer and a makeup artist for sure. But it doesn't take anything away from a beauty influencer because they get sent products all the time. They're usually very well versed in, product ingredients, how things work, and that kind of thing. But I think with this new Challenge Accepted campaign that Mac just launched, it's going to be really fun for, people to learn about products in a different way because we challenge you to see how they perform for your lifestyle. And then you're like, well, what does that actually mean? And then, you think about it in a little bit of a different way too.
Oh, 100%. Because, I mean, I would assume in some ways the pandemic is has it hurt the makeup industry in a little bit because now we're wearing masks. So people they're a little less likely to wear lipstick. I mean, I still don't, maybe not wear lipstick under my mask, but I'll still do a full face when I go out. Has that changed things insofar as,
Yeah, for sure. Of
yeah,
course, right? Because, working from home, do I put makeup on every day? Maybe. I mean, yes.
I know not every day. If you're on, you probably do, because you're
Being on a
fancy.
Zoom call, I just like to have a little bit. I get really pale in the winter as well. So, just to have that little bit. My eyebrows are thin because I overplucked them in the 90s, all the things, right? But yeah, people aren't wearing makeup as much. The focus really is on skincare, I
Mm-hmm.
think, because, people are at home, they have a little bit more time to spend on themselves, doing a little bit of self care, which includes skincare. I know I've been trying out a lot more serums and, face masks and different things because, if I'm on a Zoom call and I'm not on camera, I could have a face mask on, and like treating myself.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I
You
mean, why not, right? Multitask.
That's a great idea. I know, because I'm not getting any younger, and all see, for me, it's looking back at myself for the camera. It's not necessarily even me trying to like wow and impress anybody else with how I look. It's like I gotta look at that when I'm
Yeah.
on camera. So I'm like, the part that makes me kind of go, I just need a little something, something to like, get the and
Well,
like now that the age is happening, it's gonna pull it up a little bit.
and that's the thing, right? Like, we're not used to communicating this way. I mean, yes and no, right? Like, yeah, you FaceTime your friends and family, but being on work calls and, communicating this way, you're not used to speaking to your colleagues, but seeing yourself at the same time. So,
That's the
I,
terrifying part about it. Yeah.
yeah, I gotta run a comb through this hair, every now and then, just make sure it's okay.
But the new idea of wearing a face mask, because I would always do that at night. So now I'm thinking, oh no, I could do that during the day, right?
Right? And just get a little bit of moisture, especially right now, the winter. It just really sucks the moisture out of your skin. Like, I'm constantly hydrating my skin right now. So any little thing that I can do when I can, I do it.
That's such a great idea. So what are some of the misconceptions people might have about what you do in your role, or even just the company at large? Are there any misconceptions that?
I mean, yeah, I think so. So my role is retail events. So it's kind of like, well, what is that? What does that mean? What do you actually do? But retailtainment is the new thing. So it's, being entertained within the retail space, and coming up with different creative, fun ideas on, ways to sort of support our products and how our artists can sell them. So, just having fun, really. I was introduced one time as Elise Tremblay, manager of retail events. She gets paid to party.
You
And I
sound like my
thought,
friend Amy. No, I'm kidding. There's a lot of
yeah.
work that goes on behind. I know the events industry.
Oh,
There's a lot of
yeah.
work that
Yeah.
goes on behind the scenes.
I've done some amazing events like inside malls, and they have huge installations. And so what happens is the night before, I go into the mall when it closes, and then I stay up all night with a crew while they build this set inside the mall so that when the mall opens in the morning, it's there and ready to go. So I've spent many nights in the Eaton Center. I used to think I lived there. I almost did a change of address with Canada Post. But so
Yeah.
good, so fun. I've done some really wild things and seen a lot of wild things during, different retail events, but the best time. And then, while events sort of slowed down with the beginning of the pandemic, I was able to move into another role at work called artist relations. And so sometimes you're like, what does that mean? But really, it's continuing to build relationships with different makeup artists artists in the pro industry. And so at MAC, we just make sure that we support different makeup artists on projects like Netflix specials, TV and film. We're really, friends of the brand, or like Lucky Bromhead, who's the makeup artist on Schitt's Creek. She actually used to work with MAC. So she's a personal friend of mine as well, but love her so much. And,
Speaking that,
so
baby.
yeah, so when she needs things, we're able to support. And then we also provide makeup for Bell Media. And so all of those people on like the social, CP24, they're all wearing MAC makeup as well. So really our makeup spans all across, TV, film, theater. We support the National Ballet and all of the dancers there. And so there's a lot of things that we do that, people don't really know about. So I think maybe that's sort of maybe a misconception of what I do, but I continue to build relationships with these wonderful brands. We've supported the Juno Awards, and we send in makeup artists and do makeup for all the, people presenting awards and the winners and that kind of thing. So, it's pretty cool, the people that we're involved with and the other different companies and brands. I think it's really special, and it just makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, to your point, though, people just think that you just show up and you just live this glamorous life. But the logistics that go behind all of that, like you said, like setting up booths and making sure you have enough product. And like, it's a lot of hustling and running around. It's not for the faint of heart by any stretch of the imagination. And it's not something you show up, you have a few cocktails, you have fun, and then you go home. It's
Oh,
a lot. It's a lot of
yeah.
work.
I always have to stay and clean up. So I got to stay and set up, stay and clean up.
Yeah. So it's
And
it's a lot more than people would think, for sure.
oh yeah, the logistics of it with like shipping and ordering things and paying for things, and and then all the makeup artists too, right? We got to make sure they're all supported and feeling great and ready. So the education, but I am so blessed to have such a wonderful team that I work with at MAC Canada. Like we do have an education team, we do have a PR team, we have a social team, we have a marketing team. So there's a little bit, and everybody really helps out with retail events and artist relations and putting the word out there. So I'm thankful for all of them.
Because I think some of us would take that for granted. And excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. I've been in certain offices where that doesn't happen, and I'm glad we had that collaborative nature at fashion. It was so surprising. Like I think some people would think, with that many women working in a building, there's bound to be a few little cat fights here and there. Maybe they're hoping there might be, and we didn't have that. It was really such a collaborative, great environment at fashion, and Wedding Bells. And so I'm glad to hear that happens at MAC too, because if everybody isn't sort of working towards the greater good, and everyone's sort of like me first, then it's a different corporate culture altogether. And the wheel doesn't work as well when there's like, one person that's just trying to either be the show, or, doesn't want to do the work.
Totally.
That's not my job. I don't want to do that. It just becomes so much harder for
Yeah,
everybody.
like we're all working towards the same goal. So why not help each other out?
Yeah, yeah, and it's I can't say that it's uncommon, but I have worked in some of those toxic environments where it hasn't been, which is really unfortunate. But I'm glad to hear that you've had a pretty good career trajectory then, working with, like, as I said, like when we worked together at Fashion and Wedding Bells, we all got along really well and enjoyed each other's company. It sounds like Mac is still doing the same thing. And it doesn't hurt that you're there too, because you just bring so much light and brevity and fun, and you just walk in and the sun is shining.
Aw.
And so, one of the reasons why I even started this podcast in the first place was because the one thing that I found, at least, was that when I'm writing LinkedIn profiles for a lot of my clients, so many of them are terrified of putting themselves out there. They're terrified of telling their story because they have to be front and center. They have to be sort of the hero of the story, and I have to get them to feel more comfortable. And this even goes for some senior executives that I've worked with as well. And the reason I'm leading into this is because you always seem so fearless. You always seem like you're just having so much fun. You are bold. You make bold statements with what you wear and your personality. And so have you always been a bold person? Like, have you always just been like, yeah, this is me?
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Okay.
I'm a little bit shy. I know. It seems kind of strange.
Right.
So
I would say
I,
about myself too, Elise, and everyone will be like, yeah, I don't believe that for a minute. But yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think I just love what I love. And I just put that out there because that's who I am. It's what I do. It's what brings me joy. Like pink lipstick brings me joy, so I wear it. Do I wear it all day? Yes. Daytime, yes. Like, why not? You know what I mean? So maybe that is where I could, people could get that, like that fearless nature. I just, we are all human. We all are who we are. And I think we just need to be us, be you, just be your own authentic self if you can, and if you can't, find a way, find a path, find an outlet. But I think, with age, it gets a lot easier, right? Just to be like, this is who I am. I accept it. I love it. I know I've always been different for sure because I love fashion. My hair has always been different. I have a puppy now and I put clothes on him. He's got an extensive wardrobe and jewelry. So we are a little bit famous on the street that I live on, which is hilarious. But it's fun. And so, again, I think people would say, oh my gosh, look at that girl. She's got all these, this outfit on. And then her dog also has an outfit. Wow, they're amazing. But then I get, a little bit shy about stuff like that. So I just do what brings me joy.
I love that. And you're right. I think I'm getting more comfortable as I get older, the less fear of judgment, because I think I mean, like I said, from me looking at you and knowing you as long as I have, you do radiate joy, and you're such a delight to be around and such sunshine to be around that you bring light to other people. So if you were to sort of dim, as another friend of mine says, when you dim your own light, you're not doing anybody else any favors, right? But
Exactly.
yeah, so it's, I mean, and I just, yeah, I mean, I could gush more because I mean, you know how much of a fan I am. But yeah, I think it is sort of getting, it's sometimes those moments of sort of stepping outside the comfort zone, they don't happen overnight, right? It's
Oh,
like just as like a mini step or a baby step at a time. It's like, I'm uncomfortable about doing this and I'm going to do it anyway. And then you go, oh, that wasn't so bad. Right? Like when I went on The Social, and you've been on Marilyn Dennis, so you've been on TV. It's terrifying.
it's terrifying. But you want to know what I said to myself?
Hmm.
Everyone's my friend. These people are my friends. The viewers are my friends. Just pretend like you're talking to your friends. And then you have to, take out all the lighting and the cameras and the audience, right? Because it's very overwhelming. But, if you can do that for sure, then, you're good to go. But I get it. It's nerve-wracking.
Oh, look, you've got a fan from high school who says you've always been fancy since high school. Elaine is saying.
Oh,
So
hi, Lane. It's true. So we wore not a uniform, but it was called strict dress code in high school. And I always had polka dot tights on, or, I'd add a little bit of fabric onto my white shirt. Like I just always had something different going on. So again, it's just who I am. It's what I love. It's what I do. You know what I mean? I'm just slowly as I age, accepting who I am. And it's like totally okay to be wild and different from other people.
is that your puppy? Is he talking?
Yes. Yes. So someone in another apartment is like hammering all of a sudden. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. He should come on and show his fabulous.
Come here. Come here.
Is he coming?
Yeah, I'll grab him.
Okay.
Bronx, are you
First
ready?
puppy
Are you
puppy
ready?
on the podcast.
Oh,
Hi,
puppy on the
puppy.
podcast. Say hi, Bronx. So this is Bronx. He is a COVID puppy. Say hi, buddy. Where'd you go? Where'd
Hi,
you go?
Brox. Hi,
There. Oh, here we go. Hi,
buddy.
Bronx.
I know I love his two multicolored eye, like his multicolored eyes.
Yes, one blue, one brown. He is hilarious. He was a COVID decision.
Right.
So I made a couple of wild decisions during COVID. One of them was getting a puppy, and one of them was tattooing my hands.
You did?
I sure
Oh,
did.
you were so wild. Oh my word.
But again, made me happy, so I did it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I think, it's funny that, it's not funny that we're talking about this. This is the whole purpose of the podcast, quite frankly, is that, as I said, we've sort of, most of us have been raised, and you and I are close in age. Most of us have been raised to stay inside your box and just, be normal,
What is normal?
I know, but
I think I'm normal.
yes, absolutely, you completely are. But I think the thing about what 2020, like with the advent of social media, is it's all about being unique and being different and being remarkable. And I mean, if that's one thing, Missy, you are remarkable. You are
Thank you.
remarkable.
You're adorable.
Such a fan. And so it is. It's just interesting, as I think age is part of it, and I think it's people being afraid of other people saying like, "Who the hell did they think that they are wearing that outfit or doing this or whatever?" So I just know I'm so excited that you came on here to talk with me about all this, because you stand in that. Your brand is being different and being remarkable, and you're not cookie cutter, and and you stand out. Why not do it?
Yeah. And I love that about me. And it did take me a long time to accept that I was different from others.
Mm.
But I'm
We're
totally
all
okay with it.
Yeah, we're all
Exactly. Everyone's different from everybody.
quite frankly, I always say that like vanilla is so boring and way, like I'm like as I'm getting older, I'm less concerned. I still have it. I still have that people pleasing, like, oh, I would hate for someone to go like, who the hell does she think she is? And to your point, though, I do think that people who are my friends are going to accept me, and the
It's
haters are
true.
going to hate. And usually, what I'm learning now is the people who don't like me for whatever reason usually has nothing to do with me and has a
Right.
whole lot to do with what is going on in their own brains. And so, I've read a lot about all this stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Brene Brown. So whenever she talks about Teddy Roosevelt's man in the arena, that if someone isn't in the arena with blood, sweat, and tears fighting the good fight, they can just step off, because they have no voice in my head if they think they're going to come and tell me what to do, right? It's like, well,
Love it.
right? You should do this. No, I'm not doing that. Like I don't say that to people. The nice comeback that I have is, yes, I could do that, but I'm not saying, yeah, yeah, I should. I'm not going to own it. I'm going
Yeah.
to
I
myself.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you probably want to get some lunch, so I just want to ask you before we sort of wrap up, if there's any last words or a mantra, or is there anything that you sort of live by, that you think that people should know about, or
Wow. I
think,
mean, be kind. I know
yeah,
everybody says it, but being a kind human is one of the best things. And be kind to retail.
and you're
People,
right. Be
yeah,
kind to yourself,
yeah.
kind to retail. Yeah,
Be kind
yeah.
to yourself, obviously.
Yeah, people in retail are going through a tough time. Are you yeah, are you finding
They
that?
really are. Like, we all know the staffing issues in, so many different locations, but also inventory situations are still happening, right? Like, we're almost 2 years into this, and, it's not people's faults, in the retail world. They are working, they're out there, they wear a mask all day. They are there to help support you and get you what you need. So I am just advocating for my people on the sales floors to be kind and be gentle to them. They really are trying to do their best. I think, be kind to yourself. Like you said, I've done a lot of date nights with myself through the pandemic. I'll pick a favorite restaurant, order in, do some skincare, watch a movie. Sometimes I put on a fancy outfit and just literally hang out in a fancy outfit versus a tracksuit. But I think you put out what you get back. And so when you are a kind, nice person, you will get all of those things back. I have beautiful people in my life, and I think it's because of the energy. I've known you for such a long time, and we don't hang out or talk every day, but we will always have such a special bond. And I think that's super cool. The other thing is when we worked together, I worked in the finance department.
Oh
So
my
I don't,
gosh, I forgot that. Oh my
yeah, I did not work in the cool area. I worked in finance. And the best thing about that is I think I met you and Deidre and Yvonne, and you guys were all doing your thing, but I was in a totally different department. But we'd meet in the kitchen and I'd do bake sales, and
yeah,
we just had so much fun. And so I think we all connected because we had the same spirit and the same way of living and that kind nature. And I think that's why we're all still friends today.
I agree. And those two fabulous girls have their own beauty thing going on too. So
I know. Empathy brand, love it. I use empathy all the time. It's been my savior. I have it sitting at my desk. I spritz my face. I use their creams. Like, it's been amazing.
I got my mom, they have like a pain cream, and my mom swears by it. She loves
Oh,
it so much. So,
amazing.
yeah, so Empathy Brands uh,
Yeah.
is,
Supporting our
is,
gals.
I know, they're so great. So anyway, so how can people, if they want to reach you, I guess they could follow you on the Instagram, follow you on the grams,
My
right?
gram. I'm at Elise's Fancy. It's Elise. So Elise's Fancy on Instagram. I haven't been posting that much lately because I really post on my dog's Instagram more because he's sort of my bunny focus right now. He's my life right now, just going out for walks and, making sure he's doing good things. But you can follow him too at Bronx Tremblay.
It's not Bronx's Fancy.
Could you imagine? I thought maybe his middle name should be Fancy, but it's okay.
Does he love it? Does he love it? Does he love getting dressed up?
He loves it. He lets me put all the clothes on him for Halloween. He was Elton John. He actually he actually had 3 costume changes on Halloween. So, I was making up for lost time last year, but it was great. Why not?
Anytime we put it, we have a Morky, and anytime we put this sweater on our Morky, he just looks at us like, "Oh, would you please get over this, ladies? Like, stop." He's
I
like
know
a little,
some dogs hate it.
yeah. He doesn't like getting the sweater on, but once it's on, he's like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I just adore you, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today, Lovey, and thank you
Thank
for spending
you.
an hour with me. And you'll probably have to get right back to work after this, so I'll let you have a few minutes to yourself.
Aw, thanks. I'm going to have a snack and get back to making magic, as I like to say at work. But thank you so much for this. It was such a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you for thinking that I'm interesting. I think my world is just my second nature. And so I love to share what I do with other people because I also love to learn about what other people do. And so yeah, hit me up on Instagram. You want to chat, be friends, hang out, whatever.
And someday when we can, and this whole COVID thing is over, I'm going to come and see you because I promised I would come and see you because when I had my makeup done at the social that one day, I'm like, Elise has to do this to me again and show me what to buy and make me so pretty.
Oh,
So,
I'm in. Count me in. I'll do it. Anything for you, honey.
oh, I love you. All right,
Love you
sweet.
too.
Okay, well, have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye, Lovey.
Bye.